Hello, everyone. We are back finally with another episode of the No Limit Wrestling Show. It's been a while. This episode was actually planned prior to Dylan going to Chicago. I had no idea he was going to Chicago until
Okay, no, that's some bullshit.
no. Let me finish. I had no idea he was going to Chicago when we planned this show. Whenever we started planning the show, he told me like a day after I'd asked Smiley or something, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm heading off to Chicago." So I was like, "When the fuck are you doing this, man?" And I was like, "All right." But after that, I had full knowledge that he was going, so that's why I was delayed a little bit. But before talk to Dylan and all that, let's talk about what we're doing today. We are reviewing. This is probably like the first time anybody's ever done this in the 2020 decades is reviewing a Wrestle One show.
Oh yeah,
But we are reviewing Wrestle One presents Pro Wrestling Love in Yokohama 2018, and in order to do that, we had to get my good buddy Smiley on. So Smiley, what's good?
Good man, good. Life's good. Just was watching the Bucks and Damian Lillard's injured, so
Oh, that's great. This series is over.
Yeah, we're going to shit. We're going to shit, but yeah, man, life's good, man. How about you guys?
Oh, good as always.
yeah.
Dylan, of course.
I was gonna say you ain't introduced the co-host. Come on, now.
Dylan,
how's it going, y'all?
How's it hanging, Drilla? You doing good?
Don't call me that. Yeah. So it is very funny because this is like the inverse episode of what we're supposed to do, where it's like we're meant to ask a guest and then the guest gives us a suggestion. But Xavier's like, you know what? I want to watch Wrestle One, and I was like, I'm down.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we should probably ask Smiley.
I was watching.
Watch it with us.
I was watching. What was I watching the day that I said that? I was watching the Taichibana and Ashino Wrestle One Grand Prix final, I think. And I was like, it sucks. Sega Taichibana just doesn't wrestle because he's so good. And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, oh, we should have Smiley for a suggestion. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then he was like, yeah, we should probably just have Smiley on. I was like, yeah, probably. So that's what led to this. I like to joke with Smiley a lot that he killed Wrestle One, and I'm gonna stand by that. But Smiley, you've talked about it before, else on other shows, of course. You've talked about it on Twitter, but just talk about why this company is so important to you and what was your gateway to it. I know what it is. We just talked about it before we started recording.
Yeah.
Just to give emphasis on why this little niche company is like so important to your fandom.
Wrestle One, basically their joint show with TNA I think it was Bound for Glory 2014. I think it was a horrible show from what I remember, but yeah, that's basically the first Japanese wrestling show I watched. So I guess the name sort of stuck with me, but I think so. Watched Pro Wrestling Love Yokohama 2017. Loved that. For some reason, I didn't watch anything until March 2018 when it was like the Muto's final Moonsault show. Obviously,
he had other ideas.
No match. Yeah. He did it, and and then I was like, yeah, man, I enjoyed that show a lot, and then obviously I started following at the right time because like 2 months later the STRONGHEARTS appeared. So yeah, from then on, my little interest just kept sparking because around that time New Japan was starting to become shit. Noah was good, All Japan was good based on something, but Wrestle One was like that perfect blend of Japanese and American pro wrestling together. In other words, pro wrestling, but yeah, so I was like, I'm following this damn company.
Funnily enough, that was actually my introduction to Wrestle One as well, because I was a TNA guy, so I followed it weekly. So I followed like Wrestle One briefly through TNA during like the beginning, like when they did the shows. Shouts out to the greatest TNA tag title match of all time, the American Wolves versus Team 246 versus the fucking Bromans.
Oh yeah.
If people, I need y'all to go find I think they were on like a TV show. It was a press conference, and they were hyping up the title match. Kaz Hayashi he invents a new American cuss word, and you just need to hear him try to like cuss out the Bromans. It's hilarious.
Honestly, I think one of the saddest things about this card is that Kaz Hayashi wasn't on it, Because I fucking
Yeah,
love
he was
that guy.
hurt,
But
wasn't he?
he was hurt for this like
Yeah, it was
3-week
injured.
period.
Yeah.
Because I checked his cage match, he came back like a week later, and he got hurt like the month before. So I was like, man, we just missed the guy. He opened the show, but I was like,
Yeah.
Love that guy, man.
It sucks that he wasn't on there, but also like for me, I don't think I picked back up on Wrestle One till they were like about to close, and then all the stuff I've watched has been in post from you basically preserving the history of Wrestle One. So I've watched almost the entirety of the collection of everything. So I followed most of everything, and I feel caught up. And before we get into like the
wait. I want my Wrestle One backstory. Come on,
well,
you guys got yours.
well, I was about to
God
say
damn it,
something.
man.
You can
Terrible
still
co-host.
you can still lead into it. What I was about to say before we like get into everything and let you say your piece. One thing about looking at this card is just how, even if you go back to like the initial Wrestle One roster, it's amazing how many of the people involved with this company either became somebody or they're still somebody within the wrestling scene today, as far as in Japan.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that was the story of me with this card in a lot of senses. Is that it's like I would look at some of the names, I'd be like, oh, I don't know that guy, and I'd be like, wait, so
Oh, you thought you weren't going to know anybody when we
no, like
said we're going to this show.
because so for some backstory, I know about Wrestle One initially because Hana, right? I became a big fan of Hana Kimura a month before the show happened. So this is her first show back from Mexico, and so I saw the Veni match around the time that this happened, but I didn't watch much of the rest of the show. And in the years since, as I've gotten more into male Puro outside of New Japan, because I was pretty New Japan pilled at this point, when I started getting into it, I watched a lot of Sonata versus Muto and like their story and a lot of Sonata because I was a big Sonata fan. But since then, I look at this card and it's like I know most of the people on this card just because of what they've done since Wrestle One closed. You know what I mean? And I'm a big fan of a lot of them. So yeah, that's a bit of my backstory. Wrestle One. It's not a very deep one, but I went into this card thinking, oh yeah, I'll know maybe like 40% of the people. I knew most of them. It's just that names were slightly different, or I forgot that I knew about some of them. So yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised at how much I knew from this card.
Yeah, that's true. So a few things before we get into the usual format. First, this is legendary because these are the last 3 male Sonata fans alive. So everybody take a picture. There's no more, no more out there. It's just us. People slander Sonata on my timeline. I'm like, I'm not responding to that. This is the guy.
Not to breathe into the discourse, but I just don't get it. Like, dude's still good. Like, I don't know. It's
listen.
Like
he tooled with the main event formula. It works. He's good. Deal with it. But as per usual,
he needs a breath of fresh air. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
He needs to sign somewhere that I want to watch.
He needs to be in the Champions Carnival. That's what he needed.
That's what he needed to do.
He save that damn tournament.
Not wrong.
But also talk a little bit about Dylan. This is going to be a different episode because it's going to be the first episode under JTO rules, meaning it's going to be long as shit and stupid as fuck.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
But usually it's me and Dylan, and we do pictures related to the show. Since Smiley got his cam on, I got my cam on, but I do have a picture. I have the greatest Wrestle One champion of all time. Shouts out the GOAT, Masayuki Kono. Fucking
first
king.
champ.
The king. All right. Now
I've got big Takanori Ito, my guy.
Yeah, he retired.
Hell yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he retired after so long. Man.
I'm like so I'm continually so sad because every time I'm like, oh, he's got a singles match in Great, and then it's just like, yeah, but he lost, and he looked like a chump. He looked really bad. I was like, what the fuck, man? He's so good. But yeah.
So to get into our predictions beforehand, as always, we do our predicted match of the night, the predicted worst match of the night, etc., and we have stuff that we have to do afterwards, but we'll get to that when it's time. So I'll start off first with my predicted match of the night, predicted worst match of the night. Dylan, you'll go next. Leave it off with Smiley. So I predicted that the match of the night would be Seki Yoshioka versus Yusuke Kodama for the Wrestle One Cruiser Division Championship. Mostly because during my watch of going through the history of Wrestle One, I discovered that I just really love Yusuke Kodama, and it pains me he doesn't wrestle. That and Seki's just always been great. So I once I saw they had time looking at the card, I was like, oh yeah, this will deliver. My predicted worst match of the night was the greatest Wrestle One champion of all time, Masayuki Kono, and Yukio Naya versus Tsugutaka Sato and Takanori Ito, just because I highly dislike Yukio Naya. And I was like, I like the other three involved, but he's probably going to ruin this whole vibe for me. But Dylan, what about you?
I was similar in it wasn't my least favorite because obviously, like I said, Ito, I was super excited to see him, but I was worried about the Naya of it all, especially considering that he had just debuted a short time before this, I want to say. So I was a bit worried about that. I also thought the Captain's Fall match just sounded strange, and I didn't trust it.
Hey.
But yeah, my predicted best match of the night was the tag match, because I trust Shuji Kondo with the world. I didn't even know that he wasn't even going to be that big of a part of it, when it ended up happening. But I trust Shuji Kondo with the world, and I love Strong Hearts, especially when they're motivated. And I know that they were motivated in Wrestle One around this time, so I was really excited for that one. Yeah, how about you, Smell?
Yeah, my worst match of the night, I thought would be Honda's debut match because I didn't think it'd get a lot of time, but surprisingly it did. My match of the night, just based on memory, was also the tag title match, just because I remember it being fucking amazing.
Well said. So let's kick things off with the first match of the night. We have Ryuki Honda's debut match. We have Masayuki Mitomi, who is from PPP Tokyo. Some of y'all might know he's the trainer. And Ryuji Hijikata, my king, versus Hajime and Ryuki Honda. Hajime's still around. I think he probably wrestles in Vamo Star and Ryu Project or something.
Yeah.
But everybody else. Yeah, he just he works the smaller companies. Ain't no shame in that. Basically everybody in this match is still
some 0-1 last year. That's the biggest place that he's worked in the past few years.
Okay, that's something. That's better than nothing. All these people are still around. Honda, obviously main event guy in All Japan now. Ryuji Hijikata, you'll see him everywhere. Just came off his Voodoo Murders run.
Man, that was the big thing there. I was like, oh man, Hijikata's sick. I like this guy. I don't know how I've never heard of him. And then I realized
he's Toshizo.
He's Toshizo.
I was like, wait a minute, I know that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is from a thingy, he doesn't even hide on Twitter.
Yeah, no, he literally post him in the Toshizo mask on the Twitter. Ryuji Hijikata.
Oh man, the leader, because Voodoo Murders obviously just died, right?
Yeah.
The leader was like,
pretty much.
I mean, Toshizo's fine. He could just take off the mask and keep doing stuff. Everybody knows who he is. I'm just like, that's such a funny way to kill a gimmick. But yeah, no, I did not, and I fucking loved that guy in this match. He was tremendous.
No, I love Ryuji Hijikata. I don't have many notes for this because it's just Honda's debut, so we're getting that across. Hijikata absolutely dog walked Honda at the beginning.
Yeah.
I love Ryuji Hijikata so much. That's a tough draw for your debut match to try to get on the ground with Ryuji Hijikata,
especially when you're 16 years old, which is how old Honda was when he debuted here.
Really?
That's yeah.
I swear I'm pretty sure he was 18. I'm sure he was 18.
Okay, I hope he was 18.
Yeah, no, he was 18. He was definitely 18.
Okay.
I was like, he's not 16. There's no way.
Yeah. If he was 16, that would have been
at youngest, he probably would have been 17, about to turn 18.
Yeah.
But standard debut match performance from Honda. It was a decent opener. Hijikata and Mitomi balled out too. Mitomi was kind of killing it. I was like, oh shit.
How you feel about it, Smiley?
Yeah, man, good little match. I thought it was better than most debut matches. I think Honda looked quite good, and they gave him a bit more shine than most other companies would do with their younger stars. But as we all said, Ryuji Hijikata is the one that shined the most in this match because he was just kicking the shit out of Honda, and it was just beautiful to watch. Wish he'd bring that side of him more in wherever he performs. But yeah.
No, I totally agree. Him just beating him with the fucking chin lock based. That was so he's like, I might have kicked you in the head, I might have kneed you in the face, but I'm just gonna get you with a headlock. And I thought that was so sick. Yeah, I actually agree. I think Honda really he felt like a member of the match, which I feel like is an issue with the younger guys sometimes, especially the like debut younger guys, where it's like, oh, then it's like the special exhibition for the young guy who gets beat up. It's like, no, he felt like he was actively like trying to win and not just trying not to die, which I think kind of limits a rookie, if that makes sense. And I thought that he did a great job here, but yeah, I mean, obviously the star of the match was the homeboy that fucking killed him the entire time.
obviously. Then we get on to the second match, which is Ganseki Tanaka and Pegaso Iluminar, which is Soma Watanabe, versus Kuma Arashi and Kenichiro Arai. It's just so the Pegaso like mask and the whole look just is a way better presentation than his just current look of just him being Soma Watanabe.
Man.
Dylan, you can like change the slideshow like whenever.
Oh, I always be forgetting, man. Yeah, that's the look. That's the look,
yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, it's a great look. I love this mask. Ganseki Tanaka is also Takafumi, who retired from 01. Was it like last year or 2 years ago?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was last year. I think it was because of neck injuries. I think I remember.
Yeah. Which I remembered him being pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then the other team, I fucking love Kuma Arashi so much. I love Arakan too. Little grimy technician. Ganseki Tanaka was a demon in this match, first of all, because he was doing headbutts to the wrist. I don't know why he did that, but that was real. I don't care if he prefers to be a freelancer or not, but there's no reason why some company isn't printing money with Kuma Arashi right now. Like, it's insane. Why he's just not everybody's top guy. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to hint at, but I guess he's working that company now, so that's unfortunate. The Hirogoshi from Tanaka was pretty sick. I love the spot where they just suplex toss Kuma on Arakan, just because Arakan got crushed. Beautiful 450 from Pegaso. That was more fun than I expected. I didn't think highly of this match coming into it, but it was a lot of fun.
See, I kind of felt the inverse. I felt a little I think it was just a simple match, and I think that's where I was just like, this was the inverse of the last match where I was like, oh, I didn't know he wrestles the mask. I had no idea that Pegaso was Soma Watanabe until like halfway through. I was like, who is this guy? He's pretty good. And I was like, oh, I've seen him. Like, I saw him wrestle like 2 weeks ago. That's crazy. I like this match. I thought that they kind of did the through line with Arashi hitting the big boy senton over and over again to the point where eventually he fucked up and that like ended the match.
Right, yeah.
I thought that was like such a beautifully done like sequence of events. I think that's something that Wrestle 1 is really good at, because I saw it a lot in the main event as well, is that like everything has causation in a lot of the matches, where it's like in this match it felt like it was like, okay, they established how much he loves hitting that big boy senton and how devastating it is, and then it like ends up being his big his downfall at the end. That was a really cool little through line, but overall that was a pretty simple match. I didn't think it was anything too special, but I didn't have a bad time.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent little match. I thought everyone sort of like play their roles perfectly. I think like Xavi was saying, Soma or Pegaso, he's a lot better in the mask, because the mask hides his facial emotions, which is probably
he's pretty bad at. He's pretty bad at it.
Yeah, like the mask hides that. So I thought it was initially I thought it was a dumb move to get rid of it anyways, but it was cool. But I think my favorite spot was Kuma Arashi hitting that senton on the Arai, just because how funny it was. But yeah, like I think what Dylan was saying, each of these matches on the show, there's like a logical point to it. Not everything happens for a reason. That's what the little beauties of this card and what Wrestle One is about.
One more thing before we move on. I love the way Kuma Arashi does a senton because just the way he does it, and it's not like he tweaks anything to it. You can like tell it's a big boy senton. Like he lets all of his weight into it. It's great.
That was I loved every senton he hit because it really felt like it was just like, well, I'm jumping and I'm coming back down, and you're gonna have to deal with it, buddy. And I was like, that's what it's all about, man.
Always. So we got our next match. We have Masayuki Kono and Yukio Naya versus Takanori Ito and Tsugutaka Sato. I felt so bad for Naya because he got absolutely no streamers. Even Kono, who did not want the streamers, got the streamers. He looks like $1 million in current day. I have no problem with his current look, but Pudgy Takanori Ito in the basketball shorts absolutely moves me. Absolutely moves me.
Bring him back.
I watched this and I was like, you know what? This is how he's meant to look.
Yeah.
Like, I love the guy now. I still think he can really cook.
I think he looks great, I think it looks great.
Like a panda. I don't know why. He's just like a panda to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely moves me.
Which, funnily enough, Kevin Steen's old nickname, I can see it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, like get that vibe. You know what you're supposed to do, buddy.
Yeah. He was a Wrestle One god. Okay, I have a note for it. I didn't think I had a note for it, but I did. Okay, AJPW fans will call me a liar, but Masayuki Kono, absolute fucking dog in Wrestle One. Okay.
Yeah, he is, man. Yeah, he actually tries. He tried.
Yeah, he tried in this company, and that's why he was the world.
Especially this match.
Yeah, I mean, he had to basically.
Yeah,
dude. Ito hits a spinning wheel kick in the corner, and it was insane. Like, he did not need to do that. That's a big dude hitting a jumping spinning heel kick.
That's why he's my guy.
A lot of wrestlers do bad jumping Jumbo Saruta knees, but Kono probably hit one of the best ones I've ever seen not from Jumbo in this match. It was really, really good. This might be the one time I've ever enjoyed Yukio Naya. Somehow he gotten worse at being a big man over time.
From what I heard,
he was just a big burly menace, and I don't know how he regressed though, because they stuck him with Yuji Hino, who's probably one of the best big men ever, and yet he never really grasped what being a big man was about. He thought he needed to do Hino's mannerisms and stuff like that. He never really got the idea of what being a true big man wrestler was. Especially not now. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure everybody has their different opinions, but I just don't think he's got it. He can get it, of course, but not for me. I thought this match was a blast. Also, I want to give a shout out to Tsugutaka Sato. Absolute one of the best lariats. Yeah, one of the best lariats you'll ever see.
Smiley, how about you go first? Because I need to think.
Okay, cool. So me, I like this match. I remember liking it originally. I think with Naya, he's got that sumo background, so he's a bit like the Saitos. You need to bring the fight to him. Instead of letting him take control of things, because that's where things can probably go wrong, and that's maybe why his career hasn't maybe been as good as it could be, maybe. But obviously, look who he's against. Young and hungry wrestlers. That's what he needs. That's what they need to feed him, whoever he's wrestling for. I like the tag work from everyone here. I think Kono was a blast for a change, but he tried. He was actually I would say he's the big brother to Yukio Naya in this match, where he's he's not gonna let him see how he goes on his own. If he needs help, I'm gonna help him. So thought it was good, but I think with this match, the near the end, they sort of got a bit flat, especially with the finish. But decent little match, better than what it looked like on paper.
Definitely.
Yeah, I really liked this more than I expected to. I didn't think it was. Again, I think a lot of this on card was good, but nothing too spectacular, nothing to really write home about. But I mean, I've said this 17 times already, but Takanori Ito, I just think he's tremendous, and I think he really got a lot of good stuff out of Naya. It felt like he really I don't know, he poked the bear, and the bear kind of reacted, and I feel like Naya doesn't react well these days, which is a funny thing for a ex-sumo guy to do. And I also Because I don't know if anybody knows this, but I'm a big sumo guy, and after this, I saw that he had like really, really like successful pair or a successful dad and grandpa, I think it was.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh well, a lot like lucha, sumo is very nepo based. So I looked it up to see what his family's like. One of his brothers is in the top division of sumo still, and like I know him, and like he's really good. Um, and I was like, damn, like if only Oho was in the wrestling and Yukio Naya was in fucking sumo, you know what I mean? Because Oho and wrestling would be fucking sick. But yeah, I thought that got a lot of good stuff out of Naya, especially. Um, Otherwise, Kono was cool. I didn't really get much out of Sato except for him getting thrown around and then beat. Um, so that was kind of how I viewed the match. It was solid. It was solid.
He's a dog. Just trust. Next we get into what everybody is here for. The UWA World Trios Championships match. The champions Tokyo Gurentai, Nosawa, Masada, and Fujita defending against El Hijo de Pantera, who I believe was a Damnation member. Alejandro and Andy Wu. Andy Wu did something before the match even started that very much angered me. He has broken one of the XAVI rules of wrestling, and do y'all know what that is? You don't bring a fucking sword to the ring if you're not going to use it in the match.
Oh yeah,
I'll tell you that right now. Don't you do that? Don't do that, man. Tokyo Gurentai like started off this match beating the absolute brakes off of them. It was crazy. Like Nosawa and Masada especially. Mostly because they've been tag partners forever. I forgot who it was to. It might have been to Alejandro, beating the brakes off that poor boy. The diving chain was hilarious because El Hijo del Pantera. Well, first Alejandro did a no like touch tope, and then El Hijo de Pantera did like the. Hope people will understand what I'm talking about. The Mystico jump and then a flipping senton where he does the double jump. Where Mystico does the double jump before he does the crossbody. Yeah. But he does it in a very specific way. That's why I wanted to say it was the Mystico one, because that's how he kind of did it. And it looked really good. It was a great dive. And then they're like, all right, Andy, your time to dive. And he just shits out this terrible ass splash. And nobody reacts. They're like, oh, all right. Andy, and I have that in my notes to say Andy who just did the weakest dive spot I've ever seen in my life. Massman Trio, they had a like good triple team concepts, but their timing was always a bit funky in a sense that none of it like materialized to the point to it becoming fluid or clean in a way. It's like the concepts were good, it's just the execution bit off. I thought Tokyo Gurentai was good in this match. Masada fucking kills Alejandro with the fucking what's it called? I have the move name.
It's the Fisherman's Driver, but he has a name for it.
Yeah, no. I posted about it because y'all have to. I posted it on my Twitter.
And this is the AV rule too, that anybody who hits a cool fisherman buster or driver is just like them.
Top tier.
You know what I mean?
Top tier pro wrestler.
Except for Seth Rollins.
No, except him. It's the Shota Toshi or the Shota drop. I have a post on my Twitter. Literally, just he fucking drops him on his head. It's not like your regular fisherman driver. It's like he gets you up for it.
I've replayed it a few times,
and then he just gives up on doing it. It's like, all right, you're going down. And not only do I love that, but I just love Masada because we could have talked about it later, but at some point in Wrestle 1, the cruiserweight division is literally just Andy Wu, Masada, and Seki Yoshioka trading the belt every other show.
Was that 2016? I think.
Yeah.
I think it was 2016. Yeah.
Man, Masada's fucking sick. That's somebody who like I've always known.
Still good.
I've always known more so in passing. And like I've seen all of these guys except for Andy Wu, who I still to this day
I
do not know. like he's still just that one guy in this match that I'm just like, yeah, I don't Because I thought
Masada's like biggest like thing against him is like it seems like he never really stuck in one place for too long of a time.
Yeah.
He stuck in Muto All Japan for a bit,
Pretty
but
much,
like
I think the rest
never
of was
really
his longest tenure.
Yeah, I would think so. Definitely his most successful one as far as in Puro.
Yeah, I think he was just there from the beginning till the end. So
yeah.
But yeah, like even in this match, I thought Pantera did a lot of good stuff. Alejandro is hilarious to me because I feel like I watched him here and I'm just like, I watch him in Noah now, and it feels like he's just the same guy. He debuted like a year before this, and I'm just like, he just never like he was good here, and he's good, but I'm just like, I feel like
never
he's
evolved.
He's an 8-year rookie, and I don't know how that happened. Like he's still like a great rookie, but he never. I don't know. He never hit like another level.
He's never evolved somehow.
Yeah.
It's like he became this wrestler, and this is just him forever.
Yeah. And it's not like he it's not like he's like Bushi, where it's like, oh well, Bushi like was grown, then he like fucked up his back and his neck, and then he just kind of like didn't do much
Even
from
then,
there.
Bushi's still like very good.
Oh yeah, no, and I agree, Bushi's great, but like it's not like Alejandro dealt with that, where it's like, oh well, something very drastic changed the course of it. He couldn't progress very much. He couldn't
before he
started wrestling in Noah. That's what ruined everything.
No, that's probably real.
I believe
even like before he came to Noah, he like had consistent work. Like he was working the freelance scene, so like he didn't just like stop wrestling until he got a call after Wrestle 1. So I really don't know why he never really has progressed much from the wrestler he is there.
Yeah, but as we were saying, I think Masada was tremendous in this match, especially.
I don't think y'all understand how happy I was to see a Tokyo Gurentai match on this card.
Oh yeah.
You were too happy. That's all I know.
Happy. Oh hell yeah! I love Tokyo Gurentai.
Fujita, favorite wrestler of all time.
Listen, is Minoru Fujita and Nosawa like bad wrestlers objectively? Yes, but can they be very good? Yes. Okay.
That is true.
I think that they have the I hate that I say this, I don't want to use the word, but they have this aura to them where they're allowed to be bad. And it's funny because Gurentai historically the name Gurentai has had the Joshi Gurentai with Shark Tsuchiya, Eagle Sawai, and late stage Linus Asuka. Same thing. Like they personify
they're allowed to be
that
bad.
To a T,
they're just allowed to be.
You could be bad as long as you're cool, and those motherfuckers are cool. And I feel like that's how it is for Fujita and Nosawa.
Did y'all know Nosawa and his I don't remember what year it was, but it was the year him and Ida won the junior tag titles, and then he made Kaito Kiyomiya bleed. He was not top 5, but he was probably either top 20 or top 10 on my wrestler of the year running.
Was that 2021?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he had a singles match with Kaito that was 30 minutes. Yeah, I feel like it was.
He just made him bleed.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I was like, this is the greatest wrestler. He booked himself in a junior title match, and I thought he was gonna win, and I was ready for it. Smiley, what do you think about this match?
Yeah, it was a decent match. I would say the only thing that really hurt is just that I didn't feel like the challengers would win at any point, really.
Yeah, no.
But,
I thought there was just zero.
But I doubt. Well, if there's a Japanese promoter somehow watching this or listening to this podcast, book El Hijo del Pantera, man. He's out there. He's cool as shit.
He's great.
He's a chubby Mexican. What more can you want from a wrestler?
Man,
not be super crazy. I'll tell you that.
This is super random. They posted this morning that I think it was Daga, who obviously me and Xavi, huge Daga fans.
Love him.
Yeah. Oh, you see, Daga's just tremendous.
He gets it. He knows.
Yeah, man.
But
he's cool,
he
man.
posted this morning, like shouts out to the Mexicans or something, and it's him, Wagner, Alpha Wolf, and Nosawa.
No, it's Dragon Bane.
Or no, it was Dragon Bane and Nosawa Wrong Guy. I was like, wait a minute.
It was the Mexicans.
Wait a minute, you're missing that guy's brother, and Nosawa's there for some reason. I don't know if that. And then I texted Xavier. I was like, yeah, I don't know if you know.
I think
Alpha Wolf is actually just Nosawa.
He's like a legend in Mexico.
Yeah, Nosawa's Mexican at heart. That's what he is.
I know. It's funny going through his wiki and cage match and shit, and it's like, oh, he was just like a CMLL champion several times. That's sick. What a guy.
Yeah, like randomly one time I was like scrolling, I think it was Twitter, and Marufuji posted them like going out to eat, and like Santos Escobar is just in the comments talking about some Nosawa.
He's got the links, man. He's got the links.
Yeah, man. Dylan, you got anything to say about this before we get on to the Captain Falls extravaganza?
Yeah, I thought this was probably the first like match of the night where I was just like, yeah, this is fucking what wrestling's all about. You know what I mean? Like this, I really enjoyed this.
Also,
way more than I expected.
If anybody wants to take the UWA World Six-Man or World Trios titles from Kondo, Owashi, and Sugawara and like do something with them, that'd be cool. I love those belts.
Wait, that's who have
them
right
they're
now?
Cool.
Yeah, they won them because they were Basara belts, and then Owashi was just like, yeah, I just kind of want the belts I used to hold with my homies, and I want to get them again.
Okay.
And then they've just had them, and they still have them.
Okay, I see that. But yeah, I really like the match a lot.
Then let's waste no time. Let's get into the Captain Falls match. So the backstory to this is Strong Hearts have now entered Wrestle 1. I don't know if this was fresh off of them leaving Dragon Gate, but it was very close to the time they had left or whatever. They had already like launched OWE and all that shit, man. But we have the Strong Hearts team as we all know them: Gao Jinja, Shima, Big Money Strong, and Big Money Crunch.
Wait, I think this one was Duan Yin.
No. This one's Gao Jinja.
Sure, it says it literally there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's him. Duan Yin.
No, because on Cage Match it's Gao Jinja, and I'm pretty sure the one you're talking about, he's a like super tall dude. I don't think he does high flying. But I mean,
this guy was super tall dude.
Oh, he may have got
Roger.
You know
what about Roger?
He probably got renamed. He probably changed his
name. You know what?
Whenever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Big tall dude. Shouts out. That's the Strong Hearts team that we all know and love. Taking on the Wrestle 1 home army of Daiki Inaba, Jiro Kuroshio, who's the Wrestle 1 Results champion, Jun Tansho, and Sego Tachibana.
Okay, can I just say, throughout this match, even through my notes, sporadically, I just say, okay, but who the fuck are these guys? I just I don't know what the
That's fucking Big Money Crunch and Big Money Plus or whatever
so
the fuck.
I watched like some like movie commentary tracks and stuff, and one of them once said in like a shitty movie that had like Vine stars in it, it's like, so this guy's doing a shtick, but nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
So, but like he's doing like what he does, but like
they were doing the, like catchphrases and taunts.
Yeah, and it's just like, if somebody the three people who know them are like rock with, it's like, yeah, that's what they're all about. But who are these guys?
They don't even have a cage match. That's crazy.
And they won. Like they were the last people.
They're
who were
Strong
like,
Hearts
we won,
members.
baby.
Come on,
like, what the
bro.
They
with SEMA, man. They ain't doing no jobs.
Yeah, man. They're Strong Hearts member, man. Come on. So my first notes is I said when I start a company, I'm gonna book Big Money Crunch and Big Money Plus versus Makoto in Nagisa Nozaki. And Jiro breaking up the pin with a jacket strike did pop me. I love that. It was to like one of the Big Money dudes. Like they had the pin and he just walked over his jacket and it's a smack. That's funny. What was this? Oh, Gao legit does a tope and like he barely scrapes Jiro with the move and just completely smacks the concrete. No, like he barely scrapes him, but mostly just smacks the concrete.
You know what's funny? Jiro tries to pin him after on the outside.
He's like, I stabbed somebody. Big Money Crunch hit a clean black hole slam to eliminate Daiki Inaba. Jiro did a moonsault off the balcony in this one, which was sick. He ain't need to do that. Tachibana eliminated Gao, paying homage to his idol Kushida with the key lock, the hoverboard lock.
Oh yeah.
Shima eliminates Sego with the Schwein, and I just want to say how much that I love the air raid crash already, but just crunching them up and dropping them on their neck just makes it a lot better. And then my notes jump to forget the other eliminations. I need everyone to know that Shima won this match on his own, being down 2-1.
Yes, he did. And he did it in the funniest way possible.
I was like,
was
and he didn't even eliminate Tansho. He just pins the captain. He just big leagues them. He just goes, all right.
He was like,
I think he wanted that on purpose. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna kill Tansho with the meteor to the back. I'm not gonna pin him because I want y'all to know I'm better. I want y'all to know who the fuck won this 1v2. Like I want y'all to know about that because Tansho was out after that. Like he could have put his goddamn foot on the chest and won, and then face Zero. But yeah, he was just like, nah, I want the record books to show I won a 2v1 because that's what she was all about. Oh man, Smiley, you can go first.
Yeah, man. I thought this was the first really, really good match of the show. It's quite like that Dragon Gate influence to it. I think my favorite spots were the Yingnan's moonsault, where it was like, who else does it? Where it's like they flip, and then there's moonsault. I think Andrade does a similar moonsault.
Oh yeah. I know.
Yeah. And then Jiro's moonsault off the back, and it was crazy as well. Old Japan needs to bring the Big Money Brothers to the Real World Tag League.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That Headhunters, reunion. Yeah, man, I enjoyed this match. I think it made me miss like the heel Strong Heart a lot, man. I remember how good they were. I feel like they've sort of deflated like quite a bit since then, especially the match.
I think they're coasting as a face. I think they're coasting as faces because historically, all of them are just way better at being dickheads.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one who's like,
absolutely.
Okay, yeah, you're a face. He's like in the Yon's family now. So.
Onitsuka, yeah. But it was a really good match. Shima's Meteora to the Tansho was nasty as hell, though. I wish he just pinned both of them. You know what? I wouldn't even been mad. I wouldn't have been mad if he pinned Tansho and Ikame at the same time.
Shima should have brought the Big Money Brothers to AEW with him. That's what he should have.
Yes,
that would have been hilarious. Actually, that would have fit.
They would have fit in, though. They would have fit in.
Dude, early days AEW? Of course, bro. They would have been having AEW World Tag Titles matches with Kazarian and Scorpio Sky like every week. It would have been sick.
That's what the people want to see, man.
Yeah.
So after COVID strikes, it's the Big Money Brothers and Luther as a trio.
Now you're cooking.
That's what we cooking with gas right there. Big part of this match for me is one, Daiki Inaba, fucking loser. That's a shame. I like Daiki Inaba, but it was just like
he's a little geek, but I like him.
Yeah. Alternatively, go ahead, Smiley.
I was gonna say it's crazy because like a year later he's main eventing the show, and it's mad, man.
And like that's what I know from his Wrestle 1 run is that it's like, oh yeah, he's like a big deal like in Wrestle 1. And I'm just like, damn, he's not a big deal at all here at all.
Yeah,
I was laughing my ass off.
I'm okay with him not being a tag guy in Noah because he got rid of the coat and the short trunks, so that's his fault.
You should have kept them.
Him and Masa are a great tag team, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah. I hate to keep bringing up Noah, but a lot of these guys are just simply in Noah. Last year, Daiki Inaba had the best N1 of anybody, save for like Keno maybe, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Because he was just like, I'm just gonna show up and like hurt people, and then he got hurt, and I was like, that's a shame.
He just needs that. He needs like someone that'll bring the fire out of him.
I think that's why him and Masa work. I think that's why him and Masa work so well as a team, just because like Masa can bring the energy out of a dying plant. So like him getting like Inaba to wake up, it's perfect. Also, I try to explain to people that I think Jun Tansho can be very good. However, he's not going to get there in the company he's in right now.
No way. He would be perfect for like New Japan.
Oh yeah, in the junior division, dude. They're over here pushing the ass wing or whatever his name is. Like, come on,
man. Don't even get me started on that bullshit. Okay. But yeah, I thought Jun Tansho did well here. I thought that Jiro. The ass wing, which is definitely like culturally inappropriate to say. It's probably offensive to some.
I don't know how it's said. I don't watch New Japan. Come on,
Aswang. It's
Aswang.
But I thought that Jiro, who's somebody who like I've mostly seen post return from WWE, and I've not liked. I like comedy wrestling. I just think I was like, he's here a lot, and I don't, But I thought this match, I was like, he was really good. I was like, this guy's he's doing he's cooking here.
Brilliant.
And I was like, man, maybe I should give him another shot. And then I was like, do we want to in 2024 though? I don't know. I'll decide on it.
Nah, man, he's showing up and getting paid.
I feel like he's the comedy version of Kevin Nash. He doesn't really need to try.
Yeah, show up and get paid.
Yeah, but honestly, man, him in a big match, he don't miss. But
him versus Ashino, one of the
that's probably
Wrestle One
best ones. And on topic with the Wrestle One Strong Hearts, when I start uploading 2019, I would definitely recommend him versus Hijo because that match was brilliant. It's probably one of the most underrated matches of 2019.
Seiko Tachibana, I will pay you $30 to wrestle. Just wrestle. Come on, man. This is the guy right here. Come on.
But on a general level, I don't think I was as high on this match as you two. I think I was higher on the Tokyo Gurentai match. I mean,
I was higher on that match too. I just had notes.
Yeah, I think this match was mayhem in a good way, but also in a bad way of at certain points I was like, what the fuck, what are we doing here? Which I didn't think it was a bad match, but it was just one of those cases that I just kept looking at Big Money Strong and Big Money Crunch, and I was like, and then I see, and then
doing the stick, buddy.
Jiro's doing his 20-minute entrance, which I do find very funny, but I'm just like, what a world professional wrestling is, that this is a comment. Yes. And then again, tying in that Daiki Inaba is Daiki Inaba. I'm just looking at all of these collection of people. It's just such a strange,
Wrestle One, baby.
Yeah.
That's
what
Wrestle One. That's what it's all about.
But yeah, that's I thought it was it had its high spots, but I thought it was a bit weak as a full-length match. I think the earlier matches were they were weak because they were short and there wasn't much substance to them. I thought this one had substance, but I was I just wasn't as big of a fan of it, I guess.
Well, the only substance you need is Shima wins, buddy. So
man, that guy gives me not even PTSD, it's active traumatic stress disorder. I don't he stresses me out.
Well, look at his face, man. How can you be mad at a face like that? But then we move on to the next match, which is a singles match, the only Joshi match on the show. We have Vinny taking on Hana Kimura. Hana fresh off her return from Mexico. I'm not mistitling Vinny. The Regina the Wave champion is here. She's got the belt. That's what's up. It's not a title match, which I find it funny once we get to the end of it, but
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
Wave loves protecting their champions, huh?
Yeah, loves protecting their champions. So she's the champ going in here. I didn't put that with their name because I have that as my very first note in all caps. The Regina the Wave champion is all here because I knew she worked Wrestle One and I knew she was champion before she went freelance, but I did not know it was on this show. The Hana most people are accustomed to was the high impactful brawler. And I think that was a great style for her. However, this really showcased how great of a mat wrestler she was. She tied Vinny up in an Indian deathlock and then had a face lock attached to it. And then she let go of the face lock and grabbed a double underhook, tiger suplex style, while still having the deathlock in, and then turned it into a pin. It was really slick. Definitely something she picked up over in Mexico whenever she was over there. Now there's big boots. Neither Vinny's or Hana's. They didn't have that oomph to them that they would eventually get to. Now you see Vinny throw a big boot and it's just disgusting, man. Yeah. But they still were slinging the big boots like crazy. It was a war. And then this was had one of Hannah's nastiest hydrangeas ever, because she had, bro,
disgusting.
It was nasty. Vinny was on top of her head while the hydrangea was locked in. It was nasty. And then I have an all caps. Hana beat the Regina the Wave champ. Shouts out
with a cutie special.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That's what's up. This was awesome for me. Given where Hana was in her career, I think her and Vinny like delivered, especially being the only Joshi match on this card. It definitely held up with being one of the better matches on the show. It was very, very good for me.
Yeah, I this is the only match from the show that I had already seen
Mhm.
before, and I saw it around the time it happened. Because I was a gigantic Hanakamura fan. And I loved cheerleader Hana. I thought that it was like such a cool contrast to like everything she was doing around this time. Because obviously I want to say like a few days later she turned her back on Oedo Tai and became
Yeah.
the cyberpunk. Um but at this time it's like it was just complete contrast, literally like 1-to-1, where it's like she would wear red and white here and then red and
Yeah.
black the next day, and it was just really cool
Yeah.
contrast there. So I really enjoyed this match. I totally forgot that Venny was Regina D Wave champion around the time of the floor stuff, because she
Mhm.
holds it until December, which is around the time that like her and Hana really hit their stride, or stride
Yeah.
as a tag team. um but yeah, I thought it was a really fun match. I thought that some of Hana's stuff, you can see, especially technically, that Hana was still kind of putting it together. And I
Mhm.
think like within a year, like it was just like really there with every single
Yeah.
technical exchange she had. But I think here was still a bit primitive for her.
I do think she abandoned some of that stuff though.
Yes,
Whenever she
which
becomes
some of
TCS
it was for
leader.
the best. Yeah.
Yeah, but also
Sure.
some of it was kind of like she probably could have kept some of it. It would have been
Mhm.
good for her arsenal, but it worked out.
Yeah, I think she kind of found her footing and just like
Beating the
bitches
shit out of people.
yeah, that was like, she's like, I think this is funner. I think this is more
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, I thought this match was very, very good. It you kind of touched on with the big boots, but I feel like Venny also is just a completely different animal nowadays. But she still just delivered a super great match here. I really liked this quite a lot. It held up to my because I haven't seen this match in years, but it held up to my previous perceived thought of like, man, these two just work so well together.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I got the same thoughts as Dylan. All I'm gonna say is to the listeners, just make sure you watch this match from the start. I mean the start. I mean the entrances. Do not miss
Yeah.
those. They are cool as shit.
Shouts out to Wrestle One's like short-lived women's division.
Oh man,
What
no,
division? What division?
I think about that sometimes. Like, no, but they didn't need one. They just had Hanakamura and Rika Saiki, or
Rika
Yeah.
Saiki, and then they had
Yeah.
like Sari Hano working, and then
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Could have been
this is what-
something. Could have been
they
something.
had a squad. And I mean, Muto, for what it's worth, is still like a very big proponent of Joshi wrestling. Like even like leading
Yeah.
up to his retirement, he's like Joshi wrestling's how pro wrestling is gonna like grow bigger. So like you should like capitalize on it. He's like, if I started a company now, I would definitely have like Joshi's more heavily involved and all that.
man.
But they had the little squad.
Oh, Natsumi
See?
Maki was the
Yeah.
big other one who was
Yeah.
always around.
Yes. Yeah. Not spoil. Yeah.
Yeah, shouts out.
Wrestle One was ahead of the curve, man. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what.
100%.
Big
100%,
Cosmic
100%.
Angels company, man.
You know, some of the companies still ain't caught up yet.
Nah, I mean some companies that are primarily men's companies have women's titles and just hate booking women. I won't name names though.
Other companies hate the only woman on their roster.
Yeah,
Along with everybody else in Japan.
yeah, that's funny. One of those people we just talked about beating everybody in the match.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next we got the Wrestle One Cruiser Division Championship. One of my absolute favorite belt designs like ever.
Oh,
Wrestle One
noted that down
has
too.
some of the most beautiful belt designs. This and the tag title. Like I like the Wrestle One Championship, but this belt and the tag titles, love.
Yeah. I love them.
We have the champion Yusuke Kodama defending against Seki Yoshioka. Enfant has already like started, right? Like it's Yusuke, Kuma,
Enfant started
Arakan.
in like I think March 2017.
Oh wait, yeah, no, because the original had a Taichibana, so they're already like
Yeah,
rocking and
Tachibana.
rolling. So this is
This is like sort of like the second wave of
Version.
Enfants. Yeah.
Shouts out to Ash, who like just refused to let that faction die, even when Wrestle One died.
Yeah. Real.
Yeah, but I love this belt. Like I said, one of my favorite designs ever. Wrestle One just had gorgeous belts, and now we just have everybody making boxing belts, and it's terrible and disgusting.
The thing about the Wrestle 1 belts is that I knew the Wrestle 1 belts before I knew about Wrestle 1, because when I was like e-fetting and shit, the prettiest belt to like edit to make into like our own belts were the Wrestle 1 belts.
Yeah.
So I knew what the company was by name when I was like 13 years. I was like young. Like I barely watched I didn't even watch New Japan by that point. You know what I mean? I was like an indie and a US wrestling type guy. And I knew what Wrestle 1 was purely because their belts were so cool and they looked so good that it was like, oh, I'm just like, this is, I'm using it to like edit into making my own e-fed titles and shit. It was like, that was a big thing because the belts just look so great.
Yeah, I'm gonna start Wrestle 1 2.0 and bring those belts back.
Wrestle 2?
We can't do that because we'll put a sticker on it that has a 2 on it and cover up the 1.
We're gonna do like an NWO thing. That's what we're gonna do.
Just spray paint it.
Yeah. There we go. That's good. GLEAT could just book this like right now. Both of these guys work like semi-regularly for them. It probably wouldn't be as good, but they could like book this. And Noah never truly getting behind Seki will always just haunt me because that guy deserved the world. He's freelancing now. I don't know if he'll ever like stick in one place, and if he does, it'll be the company that I don't like. But man, they really never got behind him like full stop.
They really didn't.
No.
He held him up for 30 days.
And even then,
he only had one reign.
Yeah, he had the one reign.
2021. That's it.
Yeah. He had the tag titles like three times. Yeah, 3 times I think. And they were all like short reigns, but he held them plenty. But he only had the one junior title reign because like after Kotoge lost the belt, it was like Hayata was never dropping the title.
Yeah, that's the thing is that it's like they don't really get behind any juniors in Noah these days. But like
Daga's like the first person they've gotten behind,
which valid.
And he's like a foreigner, like as far as like actual juniors, like a Maxa. But the thing is, his was by circumstance because Hayata got injured.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that's like they don't really get behind juniors very well in Noah, but like I would have thought he would have at least gotten like a second reign at some point because they don't really give a fuck.
He debuted in the like empty arena Noah shows, I thought he was just about to be the guy of the division. I was like, oh, he's finna come in here and he's finna run shit. But it just like his first I think his like second match he challenged for belt. I don't know if it was the junior tags. It might have been like him and Ohara versus Hayata and Yohei. I want to say it might have been that, but I thought he was just gonna come in here and be the guy, but it just never materialized for whatever reason. Well, the reason is Noah's pretty bad at booking junior sometimes, but
everything.
That's one thing.
Hayata sucks ass,
like
bro.
I
just can't.
Yeah, he's so
like
shit.
Seki. Like Seki, when he's on, he's like easily one of the best junior heavyweights on the planet, and like he was on in this match. Like if this match was the main event, I would have believed it, and I would have been satisfied because this was like the perfect high profile junior heavyweight singles match where the heel does like some screwy shit at the end to win because they got to do like all their big stuff, and then it's like, oh, Kodama, he was fighting head on with Seki, and then he was on the verge of losing and realized, okay, I got to bend these rules or I'm not beating this guy. So it was like the perfect high profile face versus heel junior match for me. Kodama, of course, like retains. I absolutely love this match. I thought it was great. I was like, man, both of these guys are just like guys on the indie scene now, and it just hurts.
Oh yeah, this was like a prime instance of a case where it was I didn't even recognize Kodama by name, but then I was like, oh, he's that guy in gray. I was like, I've seen a couple like of his matches. He's all right. This match completely was like, man, what does great do to these fuckers, bro? What is happening? Like this guy is fucking sick. But before I dive into it, Smiley, you can go first.
Okay, so for once, I'm probably going to take a bit of a negative approach. Second watch, I ain't watching it for about 6 years. I thought it was good. I feel like they had a better match, but I think it was like a weird one where Yoshioka's like comebacks probably started a bit too late. And for me, like obviously I know pretty much everything that happened after. So obviously Yoshioka joins the Strong Hearts. I feel like this match sort of signified that he needed to because he was lacking a bit of personality or crowd connection. I didn't feel like the crowd got behind him when he was making his comebacks, which sort of hurt the match for me a bit. And it's a shame that we never got Strong Hearts Yoshioka versus Enfants Kodama because that would have cooked.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm thinking where to start. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that and that was sort of the case for a couple, mainly this match actually. I do agree that because it was this match and a bit of the Hana Veni match, but I think that's just because it was a women's match on a men's card, and that sort of happens sometimes. Is that the crowd, kind of like wasn't as actively into it as like you might have wanted in certain instances. I think that was especially.
I think the show has that problem a lot.
Yeah. But I thought this match was definitely like the match where I was like kind of shocked. I was like, wow, like this is like, they're flowing pretty well. I don't see a reason why, but I think you might have hit the nail on the head with the comeback starting a bit late. I thought it was fucking hilarious. What do you say?
Sorry, I was going to say if you put this match in Korakuen, maybe it.
Oh yeah, I
mean,
mean,
had that different feeling.
From what I'm thinking, especially when we talk about the next match, I'm thinking most of this crowd was like wanting to follow Strong Hearts mostly. So like,
probably
less of a Wrestle 1 crowd and more of a okay, Strong Hearts are here, but also, let's see what's going on.
Yeah, I could see that. Where like
by
most.
The way, this is the. Jeez. Sorry, you go first. Sorry, what?
Oh, I was gonna say like most New Japan crowds do not give a fuck about like anything except for LIJ and House of Torture.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like especially ones outside.
Neither do I. So
yeah, I mean, like I don't.
They're just like me.
I get it, but like it's very noticeable when it's like unless it's like a big time match for like like a big time Osprey match, like they don't give a fuck about United Empire. You know what I mean? Like quite frankly, outside of Tokyo.
Oh god.
But yeah, I think that probably was the issue, was how much they just like were like, okay, where are the Strong Hearts? Give me Lindemann. But I thought this match was a lot of fun. I didn't know that Kodama was just like, yeah, I'm a huge Eddie Guerrero fan, man.
Yeah, I was about to say he just reached in Eddie Guerrero.
Like that was his whole thing. And I loved it. I thought he did, like, everybody does.
Did you know he was a Tajiri guy?
I did, and I was like, you know what, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, this actually makes sense.
Yep, a lot of Tajiri guys.
I forget that Jiro's a Tajiri guy.
Yeah, I love there's someone else. But
it's an illustrious lineage. You got Yusuke, Jiro, Shiri, Koji Doi. Yeah. It's all illustrious.
Lady C went and worked with Tajiri for a week, and he's like, I can teach you a head scissors. I don't know. That's all I got for you. But no, I thought that it was very funny that he was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do the Atomico and and all, like I forget what, like he did, like an arm drag. His
finish is the Mad Splash.
The frog splash. But he did like an arm drag or something. I was like, okay, that was just an Eddie arm, like at first you see the gear and it's like, okay, this guy kind of likes it, but then he like does like the arm drag and the tope, I wrote down specifically. I didn't. I had it wrote down. I must have deleted it at some point. But he like did like 4 moves, and I was like, "That's just Eddie." Like he's just straight up doing Eddie moves. This is great.
Yeah, he's pretty much like a zombie Eddie Guerrero.
Which is the man. That's a SVR09 type of story right there.
Yeah,
that's a great gimmick. What are you? I'm Eddie Guerrero, but like he's like a zombie.
I'm Eddie Guerrero, but Japanese and a zombie.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna make a nerd note here. This was the only match with a forearm exchange, and he only lasted 3 seconds.
Yeah, take fucking notes, Tomohiro Ishii.
The whole show, by the way.
Man, I've been, a little sidetrack. Since I did, I doubt that there are many listeners that do not listen whatsoever to Star Quest, but listen to this show. But in case you did, this is a little anecdote that I noticed. I went with my buddy to the Windy City Riot show, and he didn't like the Tomohiro Ishii match specifically because he's like, why did they just like stand there and like and I'm like, good question, because it's like, and he's like explaining to me, he's like, I feel like they just like did it for fun, and I'm like not for like any, and I was like, That's because those things need to be earned, and they never are.
And
For
that is
some
also
reason,
because
nobody does that
Tomohiro
anymore.
Ishii is quite a bad wrestler. But
Yeah, he has his high moments, but yeah, I think that's just like, bro, can you like that's a good pinpoint. Is that it's like in this match they did have that short forearm exchange because it felt like that was like where they were going to. It didn't
Yeah,
feel like okay, now we're gonna do this because that's what
it
you
was
do.
earned, like you said.
Exactly, completely
They're
earned.
usually not earned, but this one was earned.
that's the beauty of Wrestle One. 8 matches into the show, only one forearm exchange. I need that shit back, man.
Oh man. But any other thoughts about this match from y'all?
I'm
I
good.
have
I'm good.
You ready?
yeah, we ready.
All right, so we'll get on to our semi-main event, the Wrestle One Tag Team Championships. The champions, Koji Doi and Shuji Kondo, defending against the challengers. God, El Lindemann looks funny in that picture. El Lindemann and T-Hawk of Strong Hearts.
Looks like
Uh,
Why does he look like that?
T-Hawk looks constipated, bro.
He's doing the face, you know what I mean? like the he's doing
Everybody,
the face, man.
nobody on this graphic looks normal. Kondo's like the most normal one, and even then, he's looking all into the camera, all sexy. It's crazy. Little fun fact here: both Shuji Kondo and Koji Doi are tied for the most individual runs as Wrestle One Tag Champions. They both held the belt 5 times, and Doi was a part of the final tag champion team, while Kondo was a part of the first. So, fun facts.
Trivia of the day.
Yeah. I noticed, I was like, hold on, I need to do some research here, and then found all that out. Strong Hearts isolate Doi here, and Doi just starts teeing off with Lindemann in the corner, and like it was like a prison beating. Like I don't know what happened, but Koji just starts beating the brakes off of Lindemann in the corner.
Yeah, Lindemann, yeah.
And Doi's like half Nelson he hit on Lindemann when he makes the comeback. It just looked insane because El Lindemann's like 2'3", so it just looked crazy.
Yeah.
The crowd really saved this match for me because I thought the flow was kind of awkward early on, and then they were doing this epic, but it felt very forced. And then like the crowd got into it in the second half, and then it was like, okay, all right, this is good. It's just like they were awkwardly dead there for that first half, and then like once they hit the second half, everything really started to click and materialize. Like by the time Linda hits Doi hits Lindemann with the motherfucker for the false finish, the place is like rocking.
Is that the actual name of the move?
Yeah, that's the move. The lariat, motherfucker.
Man,
that's why he does the. That's why he does the little that before he does the lariat.
Oh man.
Hot finishing stretch between Lindemann and Doi as Doi wins with the brainbuster. I didn't really like the brainbuster finish. He probably should have just won with the motherfucker. But you know, that's a minor nitpick. They lost me and brought me back at the end. It really was good. That's why I think that this crowd was mostly looking forward to seeing Strong Hearts because they were just unreal in the second half.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think. I went into this match kind of thinking, oh man, like a motivated El Lindemann can really like do some damage here, and I think it was Shuji that like he just like kind of like fucked with him a little bit, and then just ran out of the ring and ran super fast. Just looking like a little asshole. I'm just like, see, he's here to fucking play, and that's why like I was super excited for that. I do kind of agree on like the first half criticisms. I like the first half, but I think that like. I think they could have used Shuji Kondo a bit better in this match in general because I felt like Doi was the fucking star of the show here. Like legit,
you could say they could have used Shuji Kondo better and applied that to any company he worked for.
Yes,
Wrestle One did not give him one single world title run. Like that's insane.
Man,
how did he not?
Don't remind me of that because that gives me nightmares. Honestly.
But yeah, I think early on they could have leaned on Shuji Kondo a bit more. I think even though I did find it very funny that Koji Doi was getting like his ass beat, and then he's like, you know what, I don't want to get beat up anymore, and just stands up and starts killing El Lindemann. I thought that was sick. But I definitely thought you could probably get some better stuff out of Shuji Kondo in the first half, so that closing stretch with Doi just killing motherfuckers would have been a bit more amped up to, because it felt like he was just like kind of in the ring for a lot of the match. I think Shuji Kanjo probably could have carried his slack on the first half of the match. But yeah, I thought this match was tremendous. I loved it completely. Does Koji Doi still cook like this? Because
sometimes,
When
but
he
he's
needs to.
mostly on the indie scene, so like he doesn't
Yeah.
really try. He's just kind of there to get paid.
Like legit, I watched this and I was like, I need to see this guy all the time, forever. Like what the fuck? This guy rules. He and Xavier, you'll know how big of praise this is. He reminded me like of a Saya Ida closing stretch
That's a
where a
good.
motherfucker just goes ham and is just like, this is the greatest wrestler I've ever fucking seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe the first half, they might not be super great at it sometimes in singles, but just like in that closing stretch of a tag match, it's just the greatest fucking wrestler. And he was that, and I loved it. I always
Out of like the
oh,
core of Wrestle One guys, he wasn't trained in Wrestle One, but like out of the core Wrestle One guys, Koji Doi is by far my favorite.
I believe it. I mean, Koji, like I said, he just really impressed me here. As somebody who has seen and is a big fan of all three of the other guys and has not seen Koji Doi before, he was 100% the star of the show here. And I always want to call Strong Hearts T Hearts because I read T and then I see H and then I was like, oh yeah, T Hearts, which is Hoda's.
Hoda's group.
Yeah, Hoda's group. But I thought Strong Hearts obviously did a great job as well here. But Doi just was that guy, man. He was that guy.
Yeah, man. Brilliant match. This is brilliant match.
Is Smiley is Pro Wrestling Love in Yokohama 2017 where they do that really good Team 246 Doi Kuma tag.
Yes.
That match kicks ass.
Yeah,
you gotta watch that match. That match bangs. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, man, just with Koji Doi, I think he's one of those where, like, he misses Wrestle One more than Wrestle One misses him.
Yes.
But like he needed Wrestle One. Like it's just shit that it's ended up that way because it's been 4 years and him and Kuma Arashi should have held the world tag titles at least once. But
it feels like them and like Kodama are the three wrestlers who are like still not completely over Wrestle One closing to the point that they just don't want to settle down in a place and find a home.
Which is it's a shame.
It's kind of sad. It's very
man. It's shit, man. They rule, man. They rule. So the worst they can be an asset for any company. That's the worst thing. Anything you put them in any role. I don't know. First match of the show against all the young boys, young lions, whatever. They'll cook.
I think that's kind of. We can kind of get into that now before we get into the main event. Like the hole that was left in Puro without Wrestle One. Because like I wasn't even like a Wrestle One fan as it was like happening. But like in the years since I've gotten
nobody's
into
filled that hole.
Puro company. I'm just watching.
Like when here's the thing though, is GLEAT could have filled that hole.
Yes.
But once they brought Shima into the fold, Shima just wanted to make Dragon Gate light. That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah, heavyweight Dragon Gate, basically.
Yeah, and it just destroyed the identity. Like that company very easily could have filled the hole, but it just went off the rails immediately when they brought Shima in.
This show is everything that GLEAT should be.
Yes.
Because I mean, like a lot of the guys
they have most of the people here
are in GLEAT, and the ones that aren't are like they're doing great stuff in All Japan and Noah, but it's like they have enough of these like good talented guys to really do something. I think that is one thing that really this show showed me was that it's like, damn, GLEAT ain't shit. Like GLEAT can be, but it ain't. You know what I mean?
It's just nothing, man. Like Xavi DM'd me the other day about Ito and. I was like, it's mad how.
I can read the DM. Hold up, I get. Let me find the DM. I got it. I got it.
Go ahead.
So I said I texted him I was watching the show and I texted him, and I was like, GLEAT has to die for not making Takanori Ito the mega world champion.
For real.
Why?
Yeah.
Man, he's just, and he it's not like, because he's not one of the cases where it's like, oh, he just doesn't really give a fuck anymore that Wrestle Run's gone. He's like fucking trying here. Like he's one of the few guys in GLEAT who's really I'm trying to be the fucking best wrestler in the company. And They're just like, yeah, but we don't give a fuck.
Kondo's like the most. Him and Ashino, funnily enough, are like the most secure ex Wrestle 1 guys because, of course, Kondo had an easy way back home to Dragon Gate because of his, you know, that's where he started. So like he's going back with his boys and he can still work Noah and all that. And Ashino settled down with All Japan, but like a lot of these guys are really hurting with the absence of Wrestle.
You know what? I just remembered. I remember Alejandro. I remember when Wrestle 1 closed. I was hoping he'd go to Dragon Gate, man.
He works very well there. His Twin Gate run with Kaito is like very good. Like he's there. Oh yeah. Like he works very well there. So I'm just like, if I was him, I know it's not gonna happen, but I would like transfer here because he just fits better.
Yeah. That's where like you know, was saying, you know, he hasn't really taken that next step in a company like Dragon Gate. You'd immediately take that next step.
Like Alejandro has a junior title match at a Sumo Hall for Noah, and I think Daga's just gonna eat him alive just because Daga's just so far ahead of him as a pro wrestler. Like it's not gonna look good for him. But like if you had to like, you know, I'll let y'all say y'all's piece about this match before we head to the main event. But like if you had to like place like Koji Doi and Kumarashi, it can be as a tag team or just like separate so they can be singles guys. Like if you had to like find them an ideal situation where you have like oh, this they would do well in this company, they would, you know, do whatever. Where would that be? Would that like be All Japan, or do you think there's like better landing spots for them both as singles and tags?
I'll go first. I think it's interesting. I think for men's Puro, like the Beefy Boys don't really have much of a like place these days, because like that's kind of become the story, not as much like this year, I think, with Saori kind of being like a huge deal and Mayu, you know, reacclaiming herself. I think it might have ended a bit, but for the past few years Joshi's really been a strong arm scene where it's like if you can throw a good lariat, you are in, you know, you're one of them, you know what I mean? Like that's why everybody loved Miyuki Takase, because she was like smaller, but she can kill someone with a lariat. If you're like a bigger,
I think with
just like killer.
In most of the men's companies, it's like they want these super athletic, fast paced guys mostly, which is I don't like.
And yeah, I think when you look at like a New Japan, which, you know, I prefer not to, but when you look at a New Japan, they'd much rather make a junior heavyweight bulk up and be a heavyweight than have like these like true heavyweight guys, you know what I mean? Because like I really think a Koji Doi could fit in anywhere, but I don't know where can, you know, use his style to the full potential. I guess.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good shout. BJW.
Oh, Big Japan, definitely. Yeah, no, that's true. Man, that would you're cooking there. You're cooking.
I think Kuma could just be the world champion anywhere he goes because he's so charismatic. I think Doi is a little bit of a better of a wrestler, bell to bell motivated, but like Kuma's so charismatic, he could like walk into a company, lead a heel unit, and be the world champion tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
I think Koji Doi sort of got more charismatic as they turned heel, you know.
Yeah,
but that's because he was tagging with Kuma, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are anyway, man.
They ever run an astronauts match against them? That sounds like it would be fucking killer.
No, I don't think they've ever like crossed paths, really.
I don't think Doi's competed in BJW.
Like even in All Japan, I think the closest was didn't they face Miyakin Takuya in the tag league at one time?
No, I think they faced it was Yuman Miyahara.
Okay. I thought they were in the. I thought they were in the tag league the year that Takuya teamed with Kento.
Yeah.
No, I think I missed that one.
Oh, Koji Doi and Kuma, they were both in Real World Tag League in 22.
Okay.
They were in 22.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think like there's a big boy epidemic in Puro, which is unfortunate.
And they can solve the problem.
I think they probably need to go to Big Japan if they want to find someone who, like, you know, the meat versus meat type thing. But hell, man, put one of these motherfuckers in Dragon Gate and just have them like run
beat
over
everybody.
You know what I mean? Like
they're having a big dude revolution, and these two are a lot better than Madoka Kikuta. So bring them on.
Yeah, like there's room for that.
Doi versus Shimizu. Fuck.
That's the Just the fucking
Exactly.
real, buddy.
Oh man, dude. I don't know why it took a second to click, but that you're cooking. Like that's what I mean. Is that's like they could be doing something, but they just it's rough. Rough times out here.
Man, bring back Wrestle 1. Bring them back.
Muto, you got another company in you.
Find another money mark.
Yeah.
Just with more money.
Tell them you're running the Tokyo Dome in your second year and lie. It's just
yes.
But anyway, we get to our main event, the Wrestle 1 Championship. Manabu Soya defending against Shotaro Ashino. I believe this is fresh off of Ashino winning the Grand Prix.
Yep.
Yes.
Is this the match that you said's the best Wrestle 1 match of all time? Which one of their singles?
No, their match in March. So
okay, all right. I knew it was one of their singles, but I was like, I don't think it was this one, but it could have been. Soya, from a looks perspective, he looked like a fucking smacked ass. What is this?
Man, I started watching Soya when he was in Congo, so like full tilt weirdo. But like, I'm still amazed that this guy was just like walking around here looking like this, dude. Like, what the fuck? with the like. His trunks weren't even red. They looked like they were just like blood stained, but like all over. Like they were like a dry red, and I didn't like it. His hair was orange. Like it wasn't even red. It was like orange, but it was half, and then the other half was. What was he fucking doing? He was a world champion. He had the fucking creepy ass hood. Like, what was up with this guy?
The hood ruins the VTR, by the way.
Yeah,
aesthetically, it covers his face. It's like, fuck. Someone could have just cut it.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I was like, bro, what is wrong with this guy? I really loved how Ashino did the flurry of uppercuts to the arm, followed by the arm DDT after Soya tried to come back with the double hand chops. The apron neck breaker that Soya did to Ashino was just disgusting. I don't know why he did that. I like the layout of this match a lot because they each target a body part. Ashino with Soya's arm and Soya with Ashino's neck, and like they don't like neglect it like you see in most wrestling matches. They don't like move past it. They always go back to it. Ashino almost evinced the money clip in this match, and I popped. I also listen. Ashino was doing some great work here. He did a delayed reaction to Soya giving him a shoot headbutt, and it was awesome. Like he gets the shoot headbutt, and he stands still, like he's standing his ground. He's like, yeah. And then like the camera does a perfect shot of closing in on his face. And like in a second, his eyes glaze over and he just drops. It's incredible.
Oh, it was great.
Like Ashino's just so good. Oh man. I wish he did not get hurt last year. He would have been Triple Crown champ. That'd have been sick.
Pain.
Soya blocks the exploder, and it's like or the T-bone suplex. I guess Ashino calls this the T-bone. It's like Ashino was waiting for the block to happen just so he could immediately power him down with the Fujiwara armbar. It was really nice. Soya hit probably the burliest package pile driver I've ever seen in my life. Like it wasn't like crunching you on your neck. It was just like burly.
It was like a power bomb.
I liked it though. It was nice. Then he like murders Ashino with the wild bomber. Shouts to that Ashino on the cell, man. That was crazy.
That was a cool ass clothesline.
Ashino has a way to get into the ankle lock in the finishing stretch of this match. No matter how much Soya tries to run from it or fight out of it, he has a way to get back to it no matter what he does. And like the only person that like arguably is better at getting into the ankle lock than Ashino is Angle. And even then, I think Ashino has more of a variety of ways that he can get into it. Yeah. It's like he's just a monster, man. He wins, of course, with the ankle lock. Soya doesn't tap, but he does. I assume verbally submit. Ashino wins the belt. I loved it. The only problem I have with this is like the crowd like screwed them so bad. This match was good, and like the crowd's just like
and it was rough
a little bit of noise.
It was a longer match, so like you really need the crowd at certain points to just kind of like carry it along. And at a certain point, I was like, damn, this feels kind of dead, even though like it was good work throughout the entire thing, but I was like, it feels kind of dead right now. And then, once they picked it up near the end, the crowd kind of got into it, but even then it wasn't.
It's like it sold them so bad. More. Like this, like not to spoil the stuff afterwards, but like it probably would have been a match of the night if the crowd was into it, because like they did some really good work into it. It's just the crowd was not there for it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I think
championship. Okay, all right, look at this.
championship,
Yeah, championship.
yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, man. Like their last match, that happened in a red hot Kurikan, and then this one happened in a quiet Yokohama bunker. So it's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Fortunately, had
Man,
a negative effect on the match.
I'm concerned about that Stardom show tonight because Wrestle One fans cared a lot more than Stardom fans do right now. It's the same venue. But
Oh
yeah,
no, because they closed this one.
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's
So it's a new one.
2020. I miss this arena so much. By the way, it's just
I do
there's
like this
something
arena a
about it.
lot.
I hate the Budokan arena, man. It just looks shit all the time. There's
Funnily
literally
enough,
no positives.
this is the second show in a row that we reviewed that was in this arena because the Double Destiny.
You're right.
Was also in this arena.
It's just the setup was vastly different. But
Yeah, and like Gaia, the Crush Gals. I hate to say it. I'm
Gaia
sorry.
Drew.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the Ashido and the Soya fans out here, but the Crush Gals, a little more popular. Just
A little
like
bit.
on a
Just a
general
little
level.
bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, more popular in 1999.
One thing I'll say before y'all talk about this match, these are like two guys who are probably like the most well off from Wrestle One. Because Soya was lost there for a second. I didn't think when he was in Congo he fit much in Noah because he was so bland. But since they like dissolved and he became a face, he's gotten to show more of his personality. He's fit in very well. He got the GHC title challenge at Ariake, was good. And Ashino is just easily the best well recovered guy from Wrestle One. He's like, I don't want to say he's bulletproof, but he's like so good. It sucks so bad that like his big moment of him possibly becoming champion got taken away from injury because he was rolling.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because I started getting into All Japan right around the time he got injured. So I was like, man, like I liked him. I was like, this guy's got something. Then he gets hurt, and I was like, fuck, this sucks. But yeah, I mean, as for this match itself, I especially loved the finish because I thought that it was a well told story. As I said earlier, it feels like everything has like a continuity, a causation to it, and I thought that the finish was super interesting because like when you look at this match, right? Soya's arm was being worked from very early on, and Ashino's neck was being worked from very early on, and it ends in an ankle lock, which feels counterintuitive, but the way that they worked it was so well done because if Ashino had a move that was as strong as his ankle lock for the arm, he would just like Soya would have had to tap out like immediately. But because he was working him over the arm the entire time and he was, doing these moves this here and there, the ankle lock, when he got it on, like Soya was like hurt, but his ankle wasn't, so he could be like, no, I'm gonna get out of this. But it was a testament to how strong Ashino was and how good his ankle lock was.
Not only
he
that,
didn't
but
need
like
to touch his fucking ankle the entire match. If he could get it on and Soya's like worn down enough, it's over. And I thought that was such a great way to fucking work it.
I think it also like plays to Ashino's wrestling IQ because he worked over the arm the whole match, but by the time he gets into the ankle lock, Soya's arm is so banged up he can't fight to like get to the ropes, he can't even tap. He's just
fully
his arm is destroyed.
Body.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a well done because it's like you expect like, oh well, because he's working the arm will play into the finish, but it was kind of the opposite where it's like, well, because he worked the arm so much, it allowed him to get into the finish and it allowed Soya to struggle in the finish, but it was like, it was a testament to how strong Ashino was and how good his ankle lock was. That's like I said, he didn't even have to fucking touch the ankle the entire match until like the last 3 minutes when he got the first ankle lock in, it got broken, and then he got the second one and it was over. He passed out. Like that's such a and when you're putting over a champion, you're putting over a new champion. That's such a great way to do it. Where it's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he does to you within the match. If he can get that ankle lock after you're fatigued, it's over. And I think Ashino was put over super well here. Manabu did a really good job putting him over here. And I thought Manabu, he sometimes has this issue of kind of like not using his size to like feel like a real brute. Like we talked about the epidemic of big guys. I forget about Manabu Soya as a big guy because it feels like he kind of stays away from being too hossy. And and I think that's what has
He's
made
like
him
a territory wrestler.
Yeah, and I
does
think that's
neck
what has
breakers.
made him better in like the past, like in the N1 and like post Congo, is that he kind of leaned into that a little bit more of being a big guy. But this match, he was just like, no, I'm bigger than this guy. They're two big guys, but I'm bigger than this guy. I'm gonna try to throw him around when I can, and the arm was a big part of why he couldn't, and I thought that was all really well worked. So I thought great performance from both of them. I really enjoyed this match. I do think in the middle portion, the crowd really let it down, and it kind of was like, okay, when are we gonna get to a point where the crowd's gonna care more, so that like it just feels like a higher atmosphere. I think that was the biggest downfall of it. Was just like, from like 10 minutes in to like 16 minutes in, the crowd just did not give a fuck, and I was like, can we like. Can we do something to hype up this crowd and like really get going again? But like the work throughout was really, really good. Smiley, how about
Yeah.
you? How you feeling?
Yeah, man. I just want to say, watch the VTR for this match. It's brilliant.
Yep.
Ashino's entrance as well. Going from the L'Estasi del Oro, the good, bad, and the ugly song to his full song was cool. Yeah, I'd agree. But the work itself, brilliant. I thought, like when the announcer announced they had gone 25 minutes, it didn't feel like it at all, which is a testament to how good their work was. It's just like it's a shame, like as you were saying, the crowd sort of let them down a bit. But yeah, man, good match. And obviously the VTR as well, it highlights that Soya was supposed to main event the 2016 Yokohama show, but he had to forfeit just due to a broken shoulder, which is the one that Ashino was walking on throughout the match. So yeah, and then the ankle lock finish as well, brilliant, because number one, it protected Soya because he never tapped. And number two, it set out the foundation for the rematch, which they have 2 shows later in Osaka. So yeah, gotta protect the matches. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, Ashino's injury that you picked up on, he sort of had that same injury that Soya had, that is mentioned in the VTR as well. So yeah, crazy how wrestling works.
Shouldn't have been working over his arm, buddy. He would have been Triple Crown champ.
Oh yeah, he does that Pentagon Junior thing where the arm breaker. He does that,
yes,
yeah, which is cool.
Down.
Yeah, it's brilliant, man.
Man, I think we say the work was good, but specifically, I thought that like they were so good at just like really grinding on each other with the limb targeting, even though the neck isn't a limb, but you know what I mean. With the targeting of the body parts, I thought that you bring it up. He got the sacrifice. He got the tequila sunrise, the ankle lock tequila sunrise, where he's like, I'm gonna make sure there's pressure on the bad arm while prepping the move that I'm going to beat you with. And I thought that was like, that's such a cool move to use in a match like this, where it was like, it just made total sense. And it was a full, like I'm going to focus here, but I'm going to change my focus to where I'm going to attack as the match comes to a close. And yeah, he even just got in like a Kimura and a Fujiwara. Like Ashino was really just going hard on the arm. And I thought it was a great performance.
Actually knows also how I fully got into All Japan, I think. Because I watched the New Year's War show, and it was, I want to say, Violent Giants versus Yuma and Kento, and I thought that was really good, but I wasn't gonna like keep up with it. And then like Ashino challenged Suwama, and like I hated Suwama at the time because he was born to me, and him and Ashino just had a really good match. I was like, God, Ashino's so fucking good. And it sucks because I feel like he's going to be one of those guys too. Whenever he does eventually retire, it's just like his legacy is going to be so weird because in current All Japan, he doesn't stand out as much as a Kento or a Yuma or like Anzai because he's the young guy. But he, like, if you're talking bell to bell, it's very hard to find many in All Japan that are like up to his level.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I agree. Especially like modern day, because you can make arguments of like. Well, actually, no, I kind of like Suwama more now than I did at different points.
I definitely do.
Everyone does,
like,
because 2020 21 run sucked.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, oh well, certain people in their prime. So I was like, no, I think Suwama's a lot better now than he was back then. But no, I agree. I think Ashino's just like, we talked about it. We kind of alluded to it. That it's like this Champions Carnival is a bit rough. But Ashino is like one of those guys where I'm just like, I think he can get good matches out of most people, even in a weaker tournament like it is this year. But yeah, I think he's just tremendous, and I hope he gets that Triple Crown soon,
I hope so.
Because like I was happy, like I was bummed that he got injured, but I am happy that it resulted in Yuma getting it for a bit, Yuma Aoyagi. But like now I'm kind of like I really like Anzai, but I'm hoping
His first run doesn't need to be long because then you've exhausted all of his journey to actually becoming the ace.
Like I just hope he gets that moment because he definitely is he's one of the best guys in the company, bar none, for sure.
He's pretty much the only one who hasn't had it, so
yeah, that too.
Be a nice change. And there's a lot of stories you can play into. Him versus Kento, Wrestle One Ace versus All Japan Ace. Him versus Yuma, him versus Honda. They were the two Wrestle One guys, and then obviously the Anzai thing where they both amateur wrestling backgrounds, and then the Suwama story where he finishes the story and he gets that win over Suwama in a big match.
Yeah,
I would like to see, since he's kind of like chilling, I would like to see him and Ayabe team up because they both need partners.
I just realized that all of them are called Champion Shop.
That's what they are.
Yeah,
the Cruiser Division Champion
really?
Shop.
No, it's just they fucked up on the video.
I was like, wait a minute, like because I was just.
That's what they always were, Dylan. You just silly guy.
You pay attention to the little details.
You're about to start gaslighting me about the English language. It's like, what the fuck do you mean ship, you dumbass?
Yeah.
Nobody calls it championship.
But we'll get into our worst match of the nights and our match of the night before we overall grade and do our takeaways from the show. I'll go first. So my worst match of the night, of course, was the opener, the debut match for Honda, just because it's a debut match. If there's going to be if that's the worst match, then that's fine. We've had worse opening matches on this show. And my match of the night was the tag title match, mostly because it was the one that was most alive. So gotta kind of give that the nod because the crowd was the most into it. So
yeah, my least favorite match of the night was probably the second match with Pegaso and Ganseki, and I'm not going to read all of the names, and Kuma Arashi, and I am reading all of the names. Kenichiro and Arai. I thought it was a cool match, but I thought that it was definitely the one that like I felt lacked in substance the most. I liked the first one because it had two things that I really liked, which was Hijikata just beating the fuck out of Ryuki Honda, and Ryuki Honda feeling like a more than a debutant and feeling like an actual part of the match and like really, giving it his all and like actually just having a performance instead of just getting his ass beat and that's it. I thought that I liked that a bit more than the second match. Favorite match was the tag match as well. I thought that match stood out above the rest, like notably because I just thought Koji Doi was just on another level in that one, especially Strong Hearts when they were motivated and El Lindemann when he was willing to sell his ass off for you. I just thought that was it was a perfect storm. If you had told me before the match that Shuji Kondo wouldn't have been like that active in the match, I probably would have been disappointed. But like in hindsight, I'm just like, man, if he was a bit more of a moving part in the first half of it, it would have been like one of the better tag matches I've seen in Puro in a minute, which I haven't seen a lot of great tag matches in a while, to be fair. But I just really liked that match a lot.
Yeah. So my worst one, I'm gonna go with the UWA World Trio Championship match, just because I think.
Oh, this is fucked up. This is fucked up, man.
Hello, you gotta listen. I just think that much, like, I think it could have been better. Like,
that's fair. That's fair.
I think, like, if they had a match now, it'd probably be better than that one. It's just that it was lacking that feel of a title change. The match of the night, I think we're all going to agree with it, is the tag title match, just because of how brilliant it was and how just like it was on another level compared to every other match on the card.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. I totally agree. So all of us have different least favorite matches, but we all have the same favorite match. Unfortunately, I am a dummy and I did not put our match thingies in the spreadsheet.
Yeah. So
But
this is perfect because we have to do the grading. So this is perfect. So as always, we do a individual grade for the show, and then we all come up with a consensus. And looking at our spreadsheet earlier, we gave the ARS tournament a B+, We gave All Together B. I think it's better than All Together. I don't think it's as good as Double Destiny, so I'm personally going to give it a B plus.
Okay. Where is yours? Yours is right here.
I do think a lot of the undercard left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking because I'm going through to see what like I rated everything on altogether because I'm leaning towards a B on this.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is probably a little bit better than altogether.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't give it a B. Like I wanted to give it a B, but I was like a little bit better.
Yeah, because for me they both had like a similar number of like great matches, which was the tag matches. That match had the what was it? No Fear.
Oh yeah.
That great tag match. But I think that the lows of this show were, you know what? I'm gonna do a little cheeky like that. Because
Oh, okay. If you're changing your grade, then I think I'll go solid B.
yeah, I'm thinking of B as well. Just because it's like I think it had the same. The high end stuff was as good as like an altogether, as good as even like an Argion, but I think that the lower stuff wasn't as bad as altogether's low stuff, but it wasn't as good as Argion's good bad stuff. So it's like looking at our rankings, at least in Smiley, you can obviously rank it however you want. You weren't here for all these. You don't gotta. You don't have any metric to uphold. As we were joking about widescreen, who came on for the JD Red Zone, big JD fan. We weren't. But he was like, I gotta give my company some shine. But so you could rate it whatever. But judging off of our previously established like standards, I think it would be a solid B, maybe inching towards a B plus. But right around there. How you feeling?
Me, I'm gonna go from my heart. It's a A star, obviously, but I would say generally probably a B as well. I think one more great match, and maybe it'd be a B plus. I think. Yeah, I thought well, just from memory, I enjoyed the undercard a lot more. It's just missing that one other match. That's all we needed.
The crowd really ruined the show.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie.
that's what it was. The crowd, yeah. You know what it is? It's one of those. Like if you put this show in front of Korakuen, maybe it'd be an A minus. Who knows?
I think that's a big thing.
I think that's a big reason why I'm okay with us putting the ARS tournament over it, because the crowd for that was good, and Candy Okutsu is a beast. So
Riki Yoshida had some of her best showings as well. I think
that's fair.
I think this is fair. I think B's fair. It lands it at what? It would be 1, 2, 3, the fourth best show we've ever reviewed, which we haven't reviewed much, as we see. Half of our shows have been special episodes. But yeah,
We're getting there, buddy.
It's a safe spot for Wrestle One Pro Wrestling Love in Yokohama 2018.
So, what's your overall takeaways from the show? I think mine is simply what we talked about earlier in the show, where it's like their presence is greatly missed in the company, or not in the company, in Japan. It's just greatly missed because so many people could use Wrestle One. Like even people who weren't in Wrestle One, there's some people on the independent scene that could totally benefit from Wrestle One being around.
Oh, 100%.
Some people from the indies are from Wrestle One, even though they never wrestled there, like Shoki Kitamura from 01.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because I think that's what their main source of income was, their pro wrestling school. So
yeah.
But yeah, what were your main takeaways, Smiley, from the show?
Main takeaways: missed these guys, man. Didn't realize how missed them until I watched this show. I would say the same. Like their presence is missed because they were the one unique thing about them. It was basically like a rookie promotion in the second phase of things when Hayashi took over as president in 2017. Like Ashino at this stage was only 3 years a pro wrestler, and then he basically missed a year from injury. So, and at that level of matches, which is like crazy to be having. Presence is missed. I think for Puro to become what we once loved, we need a money mark out there to give some money to Keiji Muto, Kaz Hayashi, and Shuji Kondo. bring back the pro wrestling love. We're missing it. That's what Japanese pro wrestling is missing right now. I think as well, like, I think a bit of a nerdy thingy, but like all the wrestlers here, they all had good fundamentals, like the basics, but it's like, it was, how do you say, it was more advanced than you'd see in any other company. Like, that's what I loved about this card. Like, every match sort of felt unique, whereas now in Puro, it's like, it's quite samey. Like I mentioned in the Yoshioka Kodama match, that was the only match to have a forearm exchange, and that lasted 3 seconds. So, that says everything about Wrestle 1, what wrestling should be. Like, modern day wrestling anyways, like good, clean, crisp wrestling, more just unique. That's what Wrestle 1 is and was.
So let's Tomohiro Ishii more Shotaro Ashino. Let's fucking.
I mean, no, I agree.
Let's go. All right, Dylan, go ahead.
I think that like I said earlier, it kind of reminded me of like how fucked GLEAT is, and how it's going to be way worse when Kaz Hayashi's like, you know what, I don't really feel like doing this backstage stuff. I'm just going to retire.
Come back to old Japan.
Oh, please, man. We could use them.
Save us.
But yeah, like I think that it just like reminded me of like how much of a whole, because like when I first started getting into GLEAT or Great, I prefer calling it GLEAT, even though I know it's not how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
But when I was first getting into GLEAT, I was like,
they're not great, so
I think GLEAT is like unnecessary for the Puro industry, because you need a company like this. And then, like I watched this show and I was like, think back about like stuff in Wrestle 1, and I think back about like, as we said, it's like kind of joke. It didn't really have that much of a women's division, but it still had a pretty like fun, women's division here and there. They had good wrestlers on the cards, and it felt like, they were a part of the company. And I just look at GLEAT and I'm just like, man, this is
Wrestle
a poor
1.
imitation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a poor
Wrestle
imitation.
1 gave us
is what we need.
Wrestle 1 gave us Reika Saiki versus Yumi Hikota, so
yeah, like that's insane. Like I don't know. I think it shows.
And the shit, the first show had Mayu Itani versus Yoshiko.
Yeah, that's true.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was on the Wrestle 1 show. It was on. It was also on that show was fucking Masaki Mochizuki and Fujita Junior Hayato versus Koji Kanemoto and Minoru Tanaka. The junior
bad boy match.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Smiley, we're getting
honestly, the vibes of the first show.
Oh, that's perfect.
You know what? Next time we do the podcast, we're doing the first show.
Yeah.
When we get you back on some point, we will do the
vibes
first
are
show.
good on that one.
Because man, that sounds sick.
The main event's so hilarious. Oh my god.
Renee Dupree.
No, oh my god. So it's like, okay, so there was this heel faction in Wrestle 1 called Desperado. It was the first heel faction. Masayuki Kono was the leader. Renee Dupree was in it. Kazuma Sakamoto was in it. Ryoji Sai was in it. Samoa Joe was in it for a night. But the big babyface team was Keiji Muto, Rob Terry, and Taiyo Kea, and it was the greatest thing ever. It wasn't on the first show, but it was like on the TNA show.
Oh, by the way, man, Brand, that
they had fucking Shibata. What the fuck?
Yeah, they had left their son on the show.
Fellas, that Team 246 versus Strong BJ card, my match, fucking unreal. Unreal.
Oh man, yeah, we're getting
Bob
you back
Sapp,
on.
Keiji Muto main event versus insane. The Zodiac's Jesus from WWE, right?
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah,
that is insane.
That's a great main event, buddy.
But yeah,
5 stars.
Man, yeah, we'll get you back on to watch that at some point. You know what's funny actually is, and Xavier, I don't know if you even know this. Me and Smiley have been following each other like on Twitter for like before me and you became friends.
Smiley follows everybody.
Years, I think like 2019.
It's been a while because like our mutual friends are like Death Grabs boys, and all of them, and so like me and Smiley have like known each other, and like that's how I I would keep up with Puro just through Smiley's Twitter because I was just
Smiley
like,
follows
I was a New
everybody,
Japan
man.
guy. I didn't do fucking anything. Like I was just watching Joshi, watching New Japan, and I would always be like, oh, that looks cool. Like whenever I see Smiley post on Twitter. So yeah, it's cool. It's the first time that I've like actually like talked to
Yeah, man.
Smiley.
Yeah.
It's a cool time.
Dude, that's how
You were a
Smiley is
great guest. It
everybody.
was a fun time.
Smiley just likes people's posts. That's all he does.
Yeah, that's all
Sure,
I'm there
man.
for now, man. I've retired from discourse.
That's so valid, man. I forget who it was, but a buddy of mine, we were talking about like Joshi bullshit, and somebody's like, "You guys should just stop like engaging with these
Yeah,
people. Like it's so
you know,
much more fun
life
to
style
not
that way,
do
man.
that." I
Yeah.
was like, "Man, I should." But
No,
yeah.
but Smiley, do you want to plug the Wrestle One archive and all that good jazz before we get on out of
Yeah.
here?
Well, got the Wrestle One archive. I've been a bit of a lazy bum in the past year and a half. I should have finished it last year. Well, my
You
aim
don't
was to
have
finish
much
it.
left, so
Yeah,
It's
I've
not
only
like
got
you're
like
it's not like
2019.
you're on a schedule.
Well, yeah,
Shit,
yeah,
man.
but it's just one of those. I was thinking of finishing it on the 10th year anniversary, which was last year, but I purchased the tapes. I just never converted them to MP4s and yeah, all that good stuff. But you know what? I think this podcast is gonna just motivate me to do it. And the best thing is that what's left is basically the best of Wrestle One is the Strong Hearts takeover, Tio Tata run,
yeah.
stuff like that. So be on the shout. If you want the archive, then DM me and I shall send it your way. Lots
And
of
when
good
he
stuff.
finishes it, you all get to credit us and send me and Dylan money to come up with a background for our show. To get
Yes.
an artist
So
to do a background for our
we
show.
were talking about this. Hold on, let me remove this. This is our background, which
Oh, it's
I
cool.
like, but like because it's an old like PlayStation theme.
Yeah. But this is
I
Dylan's. This isn't our shows. This
yeah,
is like
this is
Dylan's.
mine. This is my like desktop background. It has all the posters that I edited in and like little tapes of like Joshi matches I like and shit. But we need a background for the proper because when we're doing it like this or like this, we could use a little background
Yeah.
that would be kind of cool for
You just take
the
it to
show.
that next level.
Yeah, you gotta take it to the next level. You know what it's about. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
So whenever he
we're
finishes that archive, y'all send us money. I'm just kidding.
You heard them. You heard them. Send them your money, life savings, everything, whatever you got.
Other than
yeah.
the Wrestle One archive, you got anything to plug? Anything you want to mention?
Just thank you for having me on this podcast, man. It was nice talking to everyone. Nice reminiscing on some memories. It's been 6 years, which is crazy, and now I feel old as shit. So
I don't know how you're still watching
lot.
wrestling because you went straight to All Japan and they just like are on the brink of dying every other month. So like, how are you,
Yeah. Well, it's it's the one thing that I had in common with my granddad, so I can't lose my wrestling. So yeah.
That's valid. That's real.
I'm just,
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm just watching old shit now. So like,
oh yeah, I wanted to mention that. So like, 30 minutes before we started, Smiley just tweets out, "Man, the interactions between Sting and the NWO was solid."
I've just been watching that shit, man. Like, yo, it's like before I was even born. So
I was texting. Like last year, I was texting Smiley about some show. I don't know what it was, and he just goes, "Oh, I was watching like Mid South."
Yeah, loving that Junkyard Dog, and Ted DiBiase fix, man. I got Butch Reed now, so I'm onto the good stuff.
Man, I've been watching 1970s All Japan Women's. That shit's crazy. Half these falls, I swear to you, are just shoots. Like these they are just like, I'm gonna pin you and you're not gonna get up because I don't want you to.
I was watching.
I love that shit.
Yeah, I've been watching some 70s wrestling as well. I've been watching some Houston wrestling. So yeah,
that's valid. I gotta go back to old American wrestling. I haven't seen much of it.
It's cool.
But yeah.
Dylan, you got anything to plug?
I don't actually. I should be writing. I've just been watching One Piece and wrestling. That's all I've been doing in my life in the past like the past like month is like, or not even month, in the past few weeks since I got home from Chicago. I got one of my friends into One Piece, and she's just like, I was like, yes, I'm infecting my friend group with the greatest anime of all time. But yeah, that's all. I will be writing at some point. Check out writedillanwrite.substack.com. I will probably be writing about 1980s Joshi soon. Hopefully, I'm gonna force myself to do that at some point. Otherwise, go check out Star Quest. Go check out. That's the only other podcast I do actually. So yeah, just check that out. Follow me on Twitter at xxichiban because my favorite number is 21 and I am number 1.
Nah, you just
Baby.
little Suzuki Gun, you little bitch. Anyway,
That too. Wrestling ended when Suzuki Gun ended. That's how, especially New Japan. That's when that fucking shit ended.
Shit, Nihon.
Yeah, no. As for me, all the stuff that I have to plug is going to be irrelevant whenever this goes up because I just previewed the Gonpro show and it's going to be irrelevant. But check out my Substack. Just check out the link in my bio and go to my Substack on Xaviism's 3 Eyes because they won't just delete the accounts that have the other 2 usernames that I want. So I have to use 3 Eyes. And then also check out the Stardust Press podcast. I just record randomly. The only thing that's like a consistent ongoing thing is the Gone Pro Monthly Roundup, which we just renamed, and I totally forgot the name already, but that's fine.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no, it's the Gonbari, it's the Gone Pro Spirit Seekers or the Gonbari Spirit Seekers. So
yeah.
It's a play on the No More and Abe fighting detectives thing. But Beth will be back soon. She said she's at least gonna try to be back before the first Mari Gold show. So yeah, that probably lost us a bunch of listeners right there. But yeah, that's really all I got to. No, I was talking about the Mari Gold thing, not Beth being back. You know,
I was gonna say, damn, that's mean.
nah,
yeah.
Beth back is gonna be good because the show's just gonna go downhill again. It's gonna be great.
we need to get Beth on here too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I've been trying to get her on, but Dylan hates women, so we haven't been able to have.
You can't say that. You can't.
I can't cancel, man. Damn
it. Yeah. Now Smiley's getting canceled by association. It's crazy.
Turns off his camera, exits the
stream. Rip protect.
Yeah, no, but that's really all I got to plug. There's not much going on. As far as the next episode, we'll brainstorm something. But Dylan, you want to take us out? Smiley, of course, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like we always do something different. I feel like I even say we always do something different every time we close the show.
We don't. We have been doing the old outro.
Yeah. So what I gotta tell you is that what you need to do after you're done listening to this, what you need to do is you gotta go tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your uncle, tell your sisters, tell your sister's cousins. Tell your sister's cousins are also your cousins, so tell them. In fact, tell your sister's friends, tell your dog, tell your cat, tell everybody you fucking know that the No Limit Wrestling Show is the best wrestling podcast, video podcast in the biz. Arrivederci, matane.